Hey, Jack,
Hey Jimmy.
did you know that the Emperor hated his swivel chair at first, but he slowly came around?
That is a good
That's a
one.
pretty good one, right?
That is a good one. I like it.
Wanna buy some death stick? Roger,
Jedi.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
Always a pleasure to meet a Jedi.
Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy!
You failed, Your Highness. I'm a Jedi.
Hello, explorers, and welcome to the only international Star Wars podcast covering almost half the world, but only 0.5% of the galaxy. I'm Jack, and as always, thank you for joining us wherever you are in the Star Wars universe.
Yes, welcome to Explore the Force, where we cover all things Star Wars. I'm Jimmy the Jedi, and as always, welcome back or welcome along if you are new.
And if you are joining us today for episode 160, and if you get a chance, don't forget to give us a cheeky rating, a like, share, and subscribe as well if you're watching on YouTube. Jimmy, it's just me and you. No girls, no nothing, no nonsense. How are you?
Girls have cooties,
Yeah.
except for our wives, of course, and daughter. I'm great. I'll be honest with you. We just got back from a little mini vacation in Oklahoma down in Lake Country, out in the
Nice.
wilderness. We had so much fun. Molly and I and the dogs. So that was really exciting. And been messing around with my 3D printer. So that's been a lot of fun as well. So
Nice.
yeah, I've been having a good time. Summer here, baby. Summer Jimmy, man. He's a whole different guy.
Awesome.
How about you?
Yeah, not too bad. Busy week at work. It's about to get even busier. So I've got a really busy couple of weeks coming up. Yesterday was another experience for myself. Yeah, we went ranching. So there's a guy that owns a ranch. He always every year asks for help. So we all went down this year, and it was dealing with the calves and that for the cows, etc. And we had a barbecue after, and some of the things that we did, we ate. So there's a whole new world of
Experience.
experiences. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
What
The
we
rest of
do,
your family, all the family go?
yeah. Everyone came. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right,
Like I say,
nice.
it was eye opening. It was eye opening, especially for a 10-year-old girl.
I'm sure she didn't realize what she was getting herself into when she went to that thing.
No, absolutely not. However, we do have some Force encounters, so let's head over then and see what Force encounters we've got going on this week.
For my ally is the Force.
All right. Yeah, like I said, I've been messing around with my 3D printer. We're gonna have a few of these, I think, over the next couple of weeks to keep
Yes.
printing stuff off, man. Um,
Yes.
printing gifts for people. And today, over the last like 2 days or so, I need to find the files for people if they're interested in 3D printing these things. But I found this make your own lightsaber collection.
Oh
Has like
wow.
Luke and Obi-Wan. Then there's a lot of like just random pieces this guy made. I can't think of his name, but anyways, like so it builds all these parts. It's got like emitters and switches and pommels and all these different things, and you can just print them, and they all screw into each other in different ways. So you
Nice.
can take them apart, you can put them back together. So I had my brother-in-law's birthday today, and I made a bunch of them last night and this morning, and I put them in a box and I gave them to my nephews, and they have been going crazy. Like they're good. Like they like Star Wars, they like it. I wasn't sure how they would, because they're how they would go with it, but
Yeah.
I they were playing with it like a ton at the grandparents' house. I got more photos when they got home because they were still playing with them. So it's a
Nice.
pretty fun thing. I'm going to actually probably do that for all my nieces and nephews when I go back to Pennsylvania. But yeah, I think that was a lot of fun, and the boys just having fun playing, Jedi and Sith or whatever, just building lightsabers and using their imaginations was really cool. And then another positive one too, another positive Star Wars. My brother-in-law, he's watched all the Star Wars movies. When I first started dating his sister, and he found out about my stuff, and he
Mhm.
rewatched everything. and he loves the Mando. So he and his wife went and saw the movie last night. And I was like, what'd you think? And he just looked at me and goes, dude, I loved it. And I was so excited to hear that. You know what I mean? He's a guy, he goes, I just love the Mando. And I was like, yeah. And he was asking me some questions. He hasn't seen all of season 3 for whatever reason. No, it's just fun. Like, more people like this movie than not, if I feel it feels like. And
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I feel like it's it was good to hear that. And a lot of people I've talked to, they just enjoyed it. So
Yeah.
that's exciting. That makes me happy for Star Wars. But yeah, no, those are my Force encounters. How about you?
Nice. Yeah, so Force Encounters for me this week, we've been out today. I've purchased something ready to go for when Star Wars Galactic Racer comes out, and also Zero Company. Other consoles are available.
Oh,
Cheeky Nintendo Switch 2. And also finally got the last piece of my fan drop, Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Anakin. So again, we mentioned it the other week where they got like different scenes, etc.
you need to take photos of those and put them on the socials. Like
Yeah,
all
no, I've
four.
literally just done that. I'm doing it after
Oh,
this.
okay.
They're
Those are so
sweet.
cool.
Yeah,
Some
they're
little
so sweet. I like the little movie
collectibles.
posters as well in the corner.
Oh, I didn't even notice it. That's awesome.
Yeah, mate, there's loads of little details on these. The only thing that annoys me, well, yeah, okay, I get it, but at the bottom there, it's got Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader.
Well, technically, he was Darth Vader when they fought.
Yeah, he
right?
did get annoying at that
Rise,
point.
Lord Vader.
But yeah, it's just the little things, like the little details on the back. Like, you don't even
Yeah.
have to have the front showing.
What company is that?
Fan Drop,
know?
it's called. Yeah,
Fan
Fan
Drop.
Drop.
All
So
right,
yeah,
cool.
really
That-
chuffed to bits. But it
Yeah, that's
started
pretty cool.
out with, obviously, Mrs. Cope State only buying me one for my birthday.
Fool.
Yeah, exactly. Because then the foolish bit was, she then turned to me and goes, "Oh, there is 3 other ones, but I wasn't sure which one to get you. I just got the Mando one." Then yeah, here we are now.
Got all 4. Very sweet. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, no, that's pretty much it for this week's Force Encounters. Let's head over to Batu and see what news we've got coming out of there.
The people in this crowd will soon be among almost 40,000.
For those who are among the 900 with news media or promotional tickets, the sneak preview probably would be the only chance to see the Empire Strikes Back without standing in line.
Of course, exciting times for Star Wars gaming. I cannot wait for both of these games.
Freaking out, man.
Oh, mate. Zero Company. More reveals, gameplay at Summer Game Fest. It looks amazing. We know it's turn-based. It's going to be very similar to XCOM. If you've played that before, it's got the same developers as well at Bit Reactors. They're all in partnership with Respawn Entertainment. It's set during the Clone Wars, and it's coming out August the 27th of this year.
Out.
Oh, my. Honestly, early reactions, extremely positive. There's a huge update coming as well. So we're going to do a deep dive, probably the same day, hopefully, that you listen to this. So it'll be the Tuesday, the quick maths 9th of June, hopefully, maybe the 10th, on a bit more of a deep dive into the game. But we're going to get the details out of there. Super excited for Zero Company. And then we've got Galactic Racer. Again, Lucasfilm revealed a story trailer for this new pod racing style game. Sebulba's in it. Absolute goat. Can't wait for that. And that's also scheduled for October the 6th. So
I am stunned.
Mates, back to back.
I thought for sure Zero Company wasn't coming out till like Christmas or 2027 just because of the late release date for Galactic Racer.
Yeah.
When I saw the release date, I was in the theater because I knew that trailer was coming. So I was like low-key like looking at my phone during the He-Man movie, which is fun. You should go see it. It's not great, but it's fine. It's a fun little adventure. But about jumped out of my seat when I saw it was coming in August. I was like, what? Like, I'm a little annoyed that it couldn't come out in the summertime, so I don't have any responsibilities, but whatever. I know when I'm taking my first day off next school year, so.
Yeah. I can't wait, especially for the pod racing stuff. Like, you can see here, I've got my pod racers good to go, but I cannot wait for this. The pod racing stuff and Zero Company, hence
That's
why I
a
brought
lot,
my Switch.
man.
Yeah.
A lot of Star Wars.
That's a lot of gaming. It's a lot
Yeah.
of gaming. But yeah, it may be linked to this next bit of news, and I'll tell you why once Jimmy's announced it. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay. Woo-wee. Here we go. Star Wars TV news. Ahsoka Season 2 is now targeting a 2027 release. Boo. Disney has officially pushed the show to early 2027. Rosario Dawson announced the new release window at Disney's upfront presentation in May. That's still the latest official update. Season 2 has already finished filming, so the show is now deep in post-production. Also this week, Acolyte Rumor Mill got going with show creator Leslie Headland, revealing more details about her original plans for season 2. Says she'd still be interested in continuing the story if the opportunity arose. There still is no official season 2. Lucasfilm canceled the show in 2024 and has not announced any plans to reverse that decision. According to Headland, season 2 would have seen the following, and these are very exciting.
Yeah.
More of Chimera, the stranger in his Sith training, which I think everyone would have loved.
Yeah.
Manny Jacinto, who we're going to get to meet here in a few months.
Yes.
Very exciting. Much larger role for Darth Plagueis, which that would have been so cool. Who briefly appeared in season 1. Briefly is an understatement. Connections between the High Republic era and the future Star Wars stories. That'd be really cool if they didn't jack it all up and did some good things with it.
Yeah.
More exploration of the relationship between Osha and Chimera. Ooh, sexy Sith time. Even though the show was canceled, the Acolyte has seen a resurgence on Disney Plus and has been appearing in streaming charts again. The renewed interest was sparked fresh discussion about whether some of its storylines could continue in another show, book, or comic. I've seen a lot of the haters out there. Well, it's because it popped up after Maul. Okay, people didn't have to watch it.
No,
they did. So like everyone out there is hating on it, and man, this reminds me of like the Last Jedi divisiveness.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
But yeah, what? So you said I wouldn't mind it. We've said this a million times. Like this is what we wanted season 2 for. Like Soul's dead. Kelnek is whatever. All I want to see is the only thing that wasn't really mentioned was Vernestra. I want to see more of her.
Yes,
and figure out what's going on there. But they could easily have done this. I think they should. But what about you? How do you feel about this news?
Yeah, 100%. And every time the Acolyte rears its head, it gains publicity, whether it's good or bad. So it's definitely not off the table completely at Lucasfilm and Disney. No way. Mm-hmm. Maybe looking for a new director, maybe. I don't know. But we've just gone through 4 points there of what the Leslie Headland would have gone into further. And, the first one, Chimera, was an absolute fan favorite. Why not? We want to see more High Republic stuff because we know how popular those books were. And Darth Plagueis, you mentioned it there briefly. Bit of an understatement, but yeah, I'm absolutely game for that.
Yeah, all this. Yeah, and then the whole Osha Chimera thing, like that's what everyone loved. So, I mean, I think I don't know why they wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
I think they need to shift a little bit.
Yeah.
But, maybe put her with some other people, like have some other writers on there or something. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think you need to write it off completely.
Nah, I totally agree. And alluding to what I was talking about earlier with the gaming and Ahsoka. So I read that Ahsoka Season 2 was coming out in September. Could this be Star Wars' Lucasfilm's Disney's way of sort of softening the blow and getting these two games out quick time? Or is it a tactical approach where they've seen them that they're coming out and they can push it back to 2027?
Oh. I don't know. It's weird to me that they're coming out so closely. You would think that one of them would have waited until like the Christmas time.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Christmas. I mean, I'm glad they're not. Don't get me wrong. Because we also have that Visions, the Ninth Jedi. I totally forgot about that too. Like, I forgot we were getting that. I was kind of so confused. So I guess I wonder. It's kind of a rocky start for Dave and Linwin pushing something back. You know what I mean? Like right off the bat, they're pushing something and they're kind of falling in that. But you got to give them a couple years to kind of get things rolling. We'll get that. I really would have loved a Christmas release though. Get it over Christmas, New Year's. You get that, and you have a couple. Then you're building up until the re-release of Star Wars, the 50th anniversary in February.
Yep.
A little bit of time, and you're going to get. You'll have in April, the end of March. I mean, the end of March is celebration.
Yeah, exactly.
It's super early in 2027. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not complaining. It's just and the price point's not that bad. $50 for the game. I know for the Zero Company.
Yeah.
$60 if you do the extra stuff. So I'll probably just do the $60, but nobody's getting it early. It's no matter whichever one you buy. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, and also we've got to remember Dave Filoni was helping out on the Mando movie, which is probably part of the reason Ahsoka was also pushed back. Or could it be down to the success of releasing Star Wars in around the April time, like Andor season 2 got?
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder what's coming out. Well, I don't know.
At what point do we wrap up this whole Skywalker saga? Because Ahsoka obviously is Skywalker saga. My personal
Yeah.
opinion, from Phantom Menace all the way up to timeline of the Rise of Skywalker, is Skywalker saga. There has to be a point where they're like, right, that is it now. We are done with stories in
Well,
between.
won't that be Starfighter? Like, isn't
Has to
that
be.
the
Has
start
to
of the
be.
next? Because I mean, the rumors. I know we haven't talked about them here. You guys can go over to Clan Mandalorian, Clan Fett. Him and John. I know they dove into it. And I want to talk about them, but as rumors, we try not to like build our whole show around a rumor, but they're really exciting, and it seems like this might be the push to the next thing. Obviously,
Yeah.
there'll be some ties to the Skywalkers, but it'll be like the next
Always.
generation of Star Wars. I don't know until Rey goes away. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not in a bad way. I don't mean that like in
Yeah,
a
I
negative
know.
way. Like, oh, I don't want
Yeah.
Daisy Ridley around. I just mean like until there's no one else related to the Skywalkers or claiming to be a Skywalker or
Yeah.
whatever. I still think about my theory, so dumb, where I thought that the Rise of Skywalker was going to be like Rey was going to change the Jedi Order and it was going to be called Skywalkers instead of Jedi. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I'm glad we weren't doing a show back then. I'd have gotten laughed off the stage, but
No, yeah.
so
Awesome.
anyways.
Right, what other news we got, buddy?
We got Star Wars Lego news. Several new Lego Star Wars sets launched this month with the following on your radar. Upscale Darth Vader minifig, 75, 461, a large display version of Darth Vader. This is like his head
Huge.
and
Yeah.
shoulders. So that looks kind of cool. Imperial Remnant AT-RT driver. I love that design. I always
Looks
have
great.
some Scarab. And so that's number 75, 458. I think I already have that pre-ordered. A helmet display set based on the Imperial Remnant troops from the Mandalorian. And then this one, I've been wanting this one for a while, the Imperial Lambda class shuttle. The last one they had released, I did not buy it. And then when I went to get it, it was like sold out. So pretty excited for most of these.
Yep. No, they are big news. Right, let's head into this week's main show, where again we are completely finishing with our Mandalorian Grogu road with another little special treat for you listeners and viewers.
It's just a simple jump to hyperspace and we're there. What's so tricky about that?
Plenty. Can't plot a direct course to Kessel. You might wanna buckle up, baby.
Awesome. Right, ladies, gentlemen, welcome to the main show. This next guest plays one of the most, if not the most, arguably recognizable alien figure from the Star Wars universe. Serving as the sly and calculating Major Domo to Jabba the Hutt, this character stands out for his eerie appearance, whispery voice, and mysterious presence. The actor's performance added depth to what could have been a simple background role, making Bib Fortuna a memorable part of the franchise iconic cast. Through subtle body language and an unsettling calmness, help create a character that continues to intrigue fans decades after his first appearance. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Sir Michael Carter. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm okay as far as I know. At my age, you can't be too sure.
Yeah, good. That's the good news. First question to just get the ball rolling, Michael. For those that don't really know who you are or live under a rock, can you let us know a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm an actor. I was an actor. And in 1982, I played Bib Fortuna, having been an actor from 1970 onwards, doing the usual kind of thing you did in Britain in those days, a lot of theatre, bit of telly. Wasn't much of a film industry then, there really wasn't. I'd only done American Werewolf before Jedi. So Jedi was my second film, and it was good to do a big American film. And that was it. And here I am 44 years later.
Wow.
I don't believe it. Dear, oh dear. Still answering questions.
And we are grateful for it, Michael. We really are. Obviously, you're joining us today because of your association with Star Wars, but would you say that you are a Star Wars fan?
Well, I like the films. I like it. I mean, I don't follow them meticulously and obsessively, but I like the films. I hadn't seen them. Well, I'd seen Empire Strikes Back when I made before I made Jedi, because I worked with Anthony Daniels on stage.
Yeah.
So it came out at the time we were working on stage, and we all went along to see it one matinee in the middle of London, the West End. And I was kind of struck by the special effects, really, by the quality of the special effects. I hadn't seen Star Wars because in those days the only place you saw was in the cinema. So it would run for a few weeks, and if you were working in the theatre, as I was, in Rev, you're rehearsing all day, performing at night, 6 days a week. Sundays you just lay in bed all day, trying to recover. So I didn't see it until it came out on television much, much later. And I kind of then understood what the fuss was about, you know.
Oh.
So that's, yeah, I've answered your question.
Yes, my lovely. Thank you.
Yes. Well, what would you say that your favorite Star Wars movie is? I mean, I know what we're going to think it is, but what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
I've only seen the 3. No, I've seen 4. I can't remember the name of the other one I saw. One of the recent ones where Harrison Ford dies. That one.
Oh,
Oh, The Force Awakens.
Oh, right. Okay, that one. I saw that one. I mean, I thought Empire was a very good film. Obviously, I like Jedi because I was in it. I've got a lot of fond memories of it. But I thought Star Wars, the original, the first film, was really interesting. I think it's a bit of a classic. Yeah, the very first one.
Yeah, for
definitely.
sure.
Amazing.
So, just a little bit more about yourself and your character. So at the time when you landed the role of Bib, did you anticipate how popular that character was going to be?
No idea at all about the Star Wars phenomenon. We knew it was very popular. That was all we knew. And if you're a professional actor, well, I mean, certainly in those days, there was no social media, there was no internet.
Yeah.
You know, things were very much compartmentalized. You didn't know what was going on in Bristol, never mind what was going on the other side of the world. So no, we didn't. I mean, you turn up as a pro actor, you do your job, and then you go on and you do the next one, whatever it was. And I don't think any of us thought that this was going to give birth to something as vast as what it has. It wasn't until the 90s, through Jeremy Bulloch, that I knew that there were even things like Star Wars conventions.
Yeah.
And when Jeremy first told me about them, I didn't believe him. I thought he was making it up. I said, "Oh, shut up! People standing dressed up as you. People don't be ridiculous. You've been drinking." But he said, "No, it's not." He said, and then I went to my first one. And I thought, hello.
Are you surprised at how popular the character is?
Well, my character,
yeah, Bib.
Yeah, I am. I am. I mean, I can kind of understand how Jeremy's character, Boba Fett, got popular because he's this sort of classic, iconic, archetypal motorbike, helmeted bounty hunter. But Bib was such a weird thing. He was a bit like a jellyfish on legs.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
I suppose he was very. I saw it. I missed the crew and cast filming, showing, because I was working. I was doing something. I was doing a telly. But I went the next day, and it was the critics. It was the show that's put on for the critics, and it was a cinema in Hyde Park. Sorry, not Hyde Park Corner. Hyde Park Corner, was it? It was one of the central. There's the biggest cinema in London.
Yeah.
It held about 2,000 or 3,000 people. It was a huge cinema. Marble Arch Odeon. That's what it was. And it was full of critics with their kids, people with pencils and pads and kids. And I was there with my kids. And my son was about This is 1980. It came out in 83, didn't it? Filmed in 82, came out in 83. Is that right? So he would be 6. He'd be 5, actually. He wouldn't be 6. And my daughter was a bit older. She was about 7. Nothing phased her out. But when I came on, made that first entrance with red eyes and everything, and said, "Do you want a Wanga?" He screamed, and he just ducked below the seat in front of him, and he wouldn't come out for the rest of the film. So I never saw it for about 20 years till it turned up on television. And I was saying, "That's me. It's me. It's me. It's just makeup." Wouldn't come up, you know. So that was one of the critics was peeing himself laughing beside me. I don't
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant story.
Oh.
So there we go. But no, I didn't. I mean, I get surprised particularly by young kids who like Bib. That really surprises me.
Yeah.
I mean, people who were kids then, I can understand it. But when you get young children coming up and talking about it as if they were of that generation, that's what's strange. I don't understand it. I don't think anybody really does. I mean, they're good films and all that.
Yeah.
But it's touched something in people that we're not
Yeah.
quite sure what it is, you know.
No.
How wonderful that you get to be a part of that. That's such a fascinating take. I don't think I've heard anyone quite talk about it that way before.
Well, yeah, I think it is. I mean, I didn't think about it for quite some time until, yeah, you really begin to think of the whole phenomenon instead of it just being a job I did a while ago and I enjoyed it and I've got a few memories and this and the next thing. It becomes part of some sort of cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, where people, I remember being on tour, doing a theatre tour with an actor called, the young actor called Michael Sheen, who's now very well known. Very famous. Michael was playing the young Jubilee, and I was playing an older part in a Chekhov. We're doing a tour. We thought we were going to go in the West End, but we didn't in the end. Anyway, Michael was playing the lead, and he was kind of regarded as one of the young and up-and-coming young actors. I was like, we're in Hull, of all places, which is like on the edge of the world. It feels like you're on the edge of the world there. It's quite a fascinating city, but it does feel as if it's, you know, completely isolated from the rest of England. There was a knock on my dressing room door one night just before the show started, and Michael came in, and he said, "Somebody told me you were in Return of the Jedi." I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You played Bib Fortuna." He's Welsh. I said, "Yep, that's right." He said, "I used to have a photograph of you in my wall when I was a kid." I said, "Really?" "Yeah, that was it." And he went on stage and tried to entertain the people of Hull after that. So that was kind of weird. That's kind of weird. That's happened to me a couple of times. A few people come on. I remember getting a phone call to do a day on a film, a Roman film, Centurion or something. It wasn't. It was a Centurion, I think it was. And I turned up. It was just one day. I turned up, and I got made up. And then I went on set. I met the director, and he said, I chatted to him. I chatted to him on the phone, but he said, "You know why you've got this part?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Because you played Bib Fortuna." And he was my favorite character. This is maybe 10 years ago, 12 years ago. And he's like 35. And he said, "Yeah," he said, "I just had to have it in the film." He said, "I'm sorry, it's not a bigger part, but, you know." So, you know, these kind of things happen. And you begin to realize that there is this impact. I mean, my children didn't get it. They really didn't get it. So I didn't see it within my own family. They were quite amused by it. But one of my grandkids has got it. I mean, he's really got it. And he's getting he's older now. So, but suddenly, you know, all these kids in the playground would come up to me and want to pick up my own kids, wanting autographs, and have to get photos run off. And my wife is an osteopath. And she'll be, you know, and we've got the clinic at the back of the house. She'll be treating somebody, and he'll start talking, or she will start talking. I mean, I'm talking about somebody who's maybe 40 or in the 50s, sort of early middle age. And somehow or other, every now and again, the conversation somehow drifts around to Star Wars. And she never knows quite whether to say it or not. And eventually she does. She says, actually, my husband is an actor, and he was in one of those films. Which one? Return of the Jedi. Where did he play? Bib Fortuna. Oh my God, I remember Bib Fortuna. So I'm kind of downstairs with the dog or something. I come back in with the dog, and she's at the door. She said, "Can you sign a photo? Sign a photo to Robert or somebody." So I sign a photo to Robert, and she gives it to him. Goes away happy. So it goes on. It's all happening out there, and I kind of don't know. I mean, every now and again I come into touch with her, but it's very much alive. It's very much something that just goes on. I suppose it will go on and on and on. Seems to me.
I know for you, it probably just seemed like another job in the long list of jobs that you were pursuing as an actor. But Bib Fortuna as a character is multi-generational for Star Wars fans at this point. Instantly recognizable. Everybody knows what he looks like, what he sounds like, his mannerisms. When I talk to people about Star Wars, you will often get somebody who does a Bib Fortuna impression or mentions him or so. I have to know, how did you even end up landing this role? I read that you came to the attention of the casting team when you were performing in the West End. I really need to know how we went from like a musical to Bib Fortuna. Like how?
Well, it was a melodrama, and I played the kind of lead in it. I played the young guy who was a baddie, and then he becomes a goodie and he saves everybody. It was a 19th century melodrama, and I didn't realize it, but 2 or 3 people during the run in the West End said to me, "Did you used to box?" And I said, "No." And I said, "Why? Why do you say that?" And they said, "Because you move like a boxer on stage." I was unaware of it. I mean, I'm just playing this kind of character called Badger, and he was kind of like a dodger. He was dodging around the place, up to no good the whole time. And then I got called up to see Richard Marquand by big casting director Mary Selway. Go down to Twickenham Film Studios. I live near there now. I live across the river from Twickenham Film Studios. And I'm talking to Richard. I'm in seeing Richard for quite some time. I'm doing a television series while I'm at the same time I'm doing a TV series for the next 3 months. So I'm not hassled about work. I'm not worried about work. Anyway, he starts talking to me. He said, "Listen, we need somebody tall for this role. And I've been told you're really good on your feet. You're a good mover. We need somebody who can flit about quite a bit. The movement is going to be quite important, but you will wear a lot of makeup, very, very kind of heavy makeup that will have to be built onto you. And you'll have to go up over the next 3 months and have it gradually constructed on you." I thought, oh, God, I don't know. And then he said, also, you'll be speaking an alien language. So some of it will be in English, but some of it will be in an alien language. And I said, yeah. He said, then he looked at me. I mean, he just looked at me. And he said, do you want to do it? No, you never get offered a job on the spot. He said, do you want to do it? He said, it's yours if you want it. And I said, no, I'm sorry, I don't think I do. And he said, well, why not? I said, well, alien language. He said, look, it'll be a great fun. And he worked on me for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And in the end, I said, he said, you start in January, and it'll be 5 weeks up at, not Shepperton, up at Borehamwood. And it'll be great fun. A whole bunch of people. It's a really big movie, And it was called Blue Harvest this time. I didn't know anything about it because my agent hadn't been given the breakdown. Usually an agent gets a breakdown of a film. They get the plot breakdown. They get the cast, the villains, the goodies, etc., etc. Nothing at all. So she rang up and says, I've no idea what it is, but it's an alien. So he worked on me, and eventually I just said, oh, all right, I'll do it. And he said, okay. I'll tell you what it is in that case. It's the next Star Wars movie. I went, oh. So that changed everything, I kind of went,
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, Suddenly I was thinking, wow, thank God he talked me into it. And of course, I've told the story many times, but it's absolutely true. He said, you mustn't tell anyone. You mustn't tell a soul. Don't tell your agent. Don't tell anyone. But I won't. I'll tell no one. And I went home and I told the kids. But I said to them, you mustn't tell anyone. Don't you tell anyone. Don't you dare. And a couple of days later, my daughter came back crying her eyes out. And I said, what's the matter? And she said, I had to tell Catherine Salvation, my best friend, that you were going to be in the next Star Wars movie.
Oh no!
And she was about 6, 5,
Oh.
and she obviously thought the Lucas police were going to come round and get her and take her away. And I said, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry, it's okay. Anyway, my son, years later, I told Martin, my son, that story. And I said, it's amazing. I said, but Hannah told Catherine Sebastian. And he said, yeah, I know. She told me. Yeah. I said, but you didn't tell anyone. It's amazing. I said, Dad, I told everybody. I just didn't tell you. I told them.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
So that's how I got it. I mean, he literally talked me into it. I said no. I really didn't. He didn't. I just thought, I don't want to do that, you know.
Yeah.
I was working a lot in those days. I was getting a lot of work, and I wasn't afraid of being out of work, you know.
Yeah. Well, when you finally did get the script, how much did you know about this character? Like, what did George give you to work with? Did you come up with this?
Just the section that you're in. That's all it is.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you don't know what the story of the rest of the whole film is. You don't know.
No.
Okay, your size, your pages. So I could see what was going on. I knew who the other characters were. Really, in a way, the character came with the costume.
Mm.
Because I had to go up to Boreham Wood and get various things, like do a hand cast and try a fit an artificial hand on me. This, that, the next thing. Get the costume made, the head cast, the eyes, the teeth. I was up there quite a lot. And the original maquette model of Bib, which is not like the one you've got on the front of the screen here, was a very long face. And Nick Dudman, who was doing the makeup, said this makeup wouldn't fit any human being. So it's going to be completely different. It's just going to be you. So we kind of got close to filming starting in the first week in January 1982. And on the Friday before we started principal photography, and the Monday up at Boreham Wood Studios, I had to go in for a screen test. And I went up to Boreham Wood, and they picked a dressing room at the front of the studio, just me in it, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think I put the costume on first. No, I didn't. I didn't put the costume on first. Nick put the makeup on first, but he turned the chair away from the mirror. You know, usually you're sitting, you're looking at the mirror, you see yourself being made up. Turned it away from the mirror. And I've got a feeling I might have asked them to do that because I wanted to not see Bib until he was complete. So we started making out, and it took about 8.5 hours. That first time to get the stuff on. And then they put the costume on. I mean, I got there at like 6 in the morning or something like that. And George and Richard and David Tomlin and all the others came in, the DOP, and kind of looked at me and went, "Way," you know. And Nick, I couldn't see out of these bloody contact lenses. They had to drill a hole in them eventually. Nick, I don't know, my optician was Richard Glass. He took them out. I couldn't see. Nick led me across to this full-length mirror, and he said, "Close your eyes." So I closed my eyes, and he placed me in front of the mirror. He said, "Okay." And they all stood back. He said, "You can open your eyes." And I opened my eyes, and I saw Bib. And I just looked at this image. We used to do mask exercises in drama school. It was harder. You'd go on where you'd end up kind of meditating a mask, these complicated Greek or African masks, for 20, 30 minutes. Then you put it on a very ritualistic way and do a 30-second exercise. So I knew how to focus on an image. And that's all I did. And everything came from that. The kind of voice, no, it's not my voice in the film, but the guy impersonated the voice I used. And the kind of movement, the rather sort of almost feminine movement.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
his long arms and the shock, you know, and
Yeah.
being a bit dim. And it all came from that, you know, 10 minutes standing in front of that mirror. That's where
Oh,
it came from. And we tried it out first day, and Richard said, "That's great. Just keep doing what you're doing. That's fine."
Wow.
That was it.
awesome.
That
Perfect.
feels like such a kind of like fantastically organic process for you to go through. That's wonderful. I think I always had it in my head that like all of these characters that kind of George conceived and these sort of places to fill in the story, it was something that kind of you had like a background, like a back of the character, who they were, what they were like, but actually obviously you're an exceptionally talented actor and your skill was trusted in this moment, and lo and behold we ended up with I love
With
it. He's
Bib
so
and
weird.
Bibby. Yeah.
He's so strange.
Yeah, yeah, strange. I mean, he's the major domo, and he's probably useless. He's useless at his job, but yeah, he is strange. I suppose he is strange. Yeah. Well, I mean, you couldn't if you wearing all that kind of makeup, you couldn't play him absolutely naturalistically. You couldn't play him
No.
Oh
straight, could
no.
you? I mean, you have to kind of occupy the image. You've got to fill the image, you know,
Yeah.
and that's something a lot of actors on Star Wars had to do, and it was the first time they'd ever done that in film. You know, I can't remember any other films where people wore these elaborate makeups, you know,
Right.
and became very specific creatures.
Incredible.
But there was an incident after that day. They wanted to take me up to the studio up the top, which was the Star Wars studio, to actually do the lighting test.
Yeah.
Which I think was the corridor, the first entrance to Wanga, just to see what it looked like, how it should be lit. But I couldn't get in the car. They were going to drive me up there. I couldn't get in the car because of the head.
Oh no.
And and this became a problem. And they're all talking to each other. Oh, we're going to do it. Suddenly they're having a serious conversation. I said, "What's the problem?" I said, "I'll walk up. It's only 100 yards. I'll walk up. Somebody just take one of my arms and lead me up." And they said, "No, you can't walk up." I said, "Okay, no, you can't. Because there might be a journalist on Borehamwood High Street with a 400mm lens who just sees you passing between the buildings." And apparently there were journalists there with long lenses and
Right.
set up.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And they're just looking for anything they could snap of the picture. So they didn't know how to get me up there. And the only solution they could come up with was to put a dustbin bag over my head.
Oh wow.
Amazing.
Oh my
So they
goodness.
put a dustbin bag over my head, and I was led up, and I did the test, and then they put the bag back over my head, and they led me back down to the.
Oh my
So
goodness.
my first public appearance was in a dustbin bag.
I'd have loved
Let's
to see
just-
the rumors.
Let's
Yeah.
just clarify. This is a garbage bag for
Yeah.
Canadians
Garbage bag, yeah,
Americans.
a black plastic garbage bag.
You were
Yeah.
kidnapped.
I think they tore a couple of tiny holes. I couldn't see anything, so and they just led me up there, took it off, did the test, put it back on again, led me back down, took
That's
it off,
the
and then took off the
best.
makeup. I should have kept the bag.
Taylor, this is something I don't know if you'll quite get, but I feel like both Jack and Michael, that feels like such an English response to a
Yeah,
problem.
isn't it?
I don't know. There's something about it that's so British.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a big deal. Everything.
Bin bag.
That's all right. Yeah. Dustbin bag.
That's going to start a whole new thing now for cosplayers and people when they're going dressing up. Someone just puts a bin bag over their head and be like, "What are you?" I'm
A
Bib.
bib bag.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. When it's been raining, I've worn a bin bag over my princess dress so it
Yeah.
doesn't get wet and muddy. It's a solution. It's a solution.
Well, I don't always like in America, but in about that time in Britain, if people were going out running and they wanted to lose weight, they used to cut a hole in the bin bag and put it over their head and cut
Yeah,
holes for the arms.
I used
and
to do
run
that
in
when I was
plastic
boxing.
bin bags. Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, I used to do it when I was boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to make you sweat.
My mum used
Yeah.
to kill me. I used to get through the bin bags like there's no tomorrow. But yeah.
Really kind of high tech design.
Yeah.
Tesco bin bag. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So How do you feel having gone through all of that with all of those prosthetics, 8.5 hours in that chair to have all of that put on? How do you feel about like kind of the advancements in makeup and prosthetics? Do you wish it had been done like you'd been able to have done it now rather than all of what sounds like actual torture way back then?
Well, I mean, obviously there are advantages to the modern way. It's cheaper and it's quicker. But the disadvantage is if you're just wearing a ski mask with a lot of points on it, which a camera picks up, and then AI will then put the face on, you don't get that kind of experience that I got with Bib. I'm looking at an image, and I'm thinking, wow, this is it. I'm not looking at Mike Carter. I'm looking at this thing called Bib Fortuna.
Yeah.
So I get an impression. So nowadays, I think it must be quite difficult for actors to visualize and imagine what they're doing. They'll have drawings and they'll be shown. But if you've got the makeup on, it's there for you. But it takes a long time to put it on, build, and it's very expensive. Nick Dutman told me, I don't know if it's true, but he told me they costed the makeup just for Bib, and it was £250,000, which in 1982 was an awful lot of money. You could have bought half of Hampstead for that. So I mean, I think there's so much more you can do now. It's great. It's really great. I think it's just amazing what they can do with the special effects. But there's still something about the built effect. I know there are some films that still will build the effect, and they will actually blow up a car or blow up a house or whatever the effect is. I mean, I always remember the story about, do you remember, I don't know if you ever saw a film, a bit before your time probably, you might have seen it on Sunday afternoon on the telly, Bridge on the River Kwai.
Yeah.
Yes.
With Alec Guinness. It finishes with a train going across a bridge they've built.
Yeah, the
and the bridge blows up and the train goes in the river, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
That was real. I've worked with people who worked on that film. That was real. They built the bridge. They built the railway. They got the train up. It was driven by, it was driven remotely, obviously, on the bridge when they blew it up. They had 7 cameras on it. They had proper explosives. And the last instruction from the assistant directors was, don't miss this. It's one shot.
One chance.
One shot.
Oh.
And they took it, and of course it worked. One camera had a hair in the gate. They couldn't use it. In the old days, they used to put film in. Sometimes the film would shear off, and you get it flickering in the frame. It used to be called the hair in the gate, bunny in the hutch. But 6 cameras got it. And you look at it, that's real. That's real. And even with the best CGI in the world, it's not real. But it doesn't matter.
No.
You don't expect to see the Empire State Building being blown up or blasted out into space or something. You just know it's fantasy. It's real. So I think it's a great new kind of style of film. It's a great new genre, really. But I'm glad I've never had to wear anything like that since.
And were you ever offered the opportunity to play Bib again?
No, I wasn't.
Travesty.
I think I'd have been too expensive. I've been...
Because you're just that good.
I had, because I knew this makeup was worth £250,000 when it came to negotiating the fee. And Nick Dudman said, there is no other person in the world this will fit. I even had my own agent saying to me, Mike, I can't go back and demand any more. And I said, go back and demand. So I knew what I wanted, and I would only do it for this fee. And I got it.
Good.
They're quite glad to pay me it,
Wow.
Because it was quite a cheap film. They made it on the cheap in a sense. These films were. There wasn't a lot of money around in those days for, non-Hollywood based films. And there certainly wasn't money in the film industry because we didn't really have one then.
Classic Bib.
Yeah, Bib got his fee.
Yeah. Nice.
But some of the guys on it were moaning about the fact they're being paid less than they were paid at the BBC. And that was in the old days when the BBC used to be on scale. It didn't matter how famous an actor you were. You started at the bottom and you went up. And the more and more you appeared on the BBC, the higher and higher your fee got. So, some of them were fairly high on the BBC fee list, but they were paid less to do Star Wars. But I think everyone was very pleased to do it.
Nice.
Excuse me. Pardon. I know we spoke a little about. Let me try that again. I know we spoke about it a little bit earlier. I know that you didn't actually end up voicing Bib in Return of the Jedi. It was another gentleman whose name I struggled to find when I was looking. I'm not sure if you happened.
Eric, what was his surname? I can't remember. I met him. Lovely fella. I can't remember. Eric, something or other.
Well, thank you, Eric. But how is your Huttese? Were you given like a translation for the lines, or was it just like a page of like nonsense?
It was the Huttese. It was the bits of, well, it was Huttese. There were some in English. No, it was Huttese. And we were kind of told by somebody, I don't know how true it is, that it was an African dialect run backwards. No, I don't know how true that is. But I had a scene with Mark Hamill, and I had a scene that was cut with Mark. It was quite a long scene as well. And we kind of worked out what the lines meant. So once you know what the lines mean, you've got an idea in your head. You can play them. It's easy. You just play them. You're really talking. And I mean, I'd done a lot of improv at drama school where we would often be told to speak in nonsense language and have apparently serious conversations in complete nonsense language. So it's something I could do. But Mark and I kind of worked out what we were actually saying, and that made it work in a way. It was difficult to remember the other actor's cue when you're supposed to come in. I got a bit afraid of the edges, but that did make it a lot easier. You've got to know what you're saying. You can't just sort of go boo. There's got to be some intention. Otherwise, it just looks daft.
100%.
Yeah.
I've seen fans like break down. People seem to think that Dewana Wanga means like, what do you want? What do you want?
Yeah.
There's like whole dictionaries and blog posts trying to break it down, but I trust your interpretation more.
Well, who are you? I just thought it meant who are you? Who are you?
Yeah.
Dewana Wanga. He quite likes the look of them. Who are you? He likes the droid. Fondles the droid.
Yeah, I never.
Yes.
All got a bit edgy. That's Richard Marquand's idea. He said, "You got to believe this is the most beautiful object you've ever seen in your life."
Wow.
Oh my goodness. It sounds like you have some really good memories with just like Mark alone. We haven't even gotten into this, but do you have any favorite memorable moments from those days?
Well, I mean, there was once when I panicked. I thought I'd missed my cue, and I kind of panicked and spat my next line out quite literally. My teeth came out and hit Mark.
The hit Mark.
And yeah. So that was cut. Do it again. It's a big deal in those days doing it again because, of course, you'd wasted so much film.
Oh no!
And you had to make sure there's enough film left in the magazine to continue. Now you just continue. You forget a line now. You just go, what's the line? They give you, and you just continue. It's a completely different way of doing it now, totally, because it's a digital camera. It just keeps running. But in those days, it was cut. Everything was repositioned. There was there was a few times because I couldn't see very much. I walked into things like I walked into a Garmoran guard once, and I walked into the set several times. I really could not see very well out of those things. But I mean, also, sorry.
I said I can't see anything out of this.
I got tunnel vision, so I was sort of look like this. But they gave me a very big dressing room with 2 coffee machines in it, and I had a dentist chair so I could rest the skull on it, and I'd go back there when I wasn't needed in set just to rest. They were quite good about carting me off the set unless I was needed. And because there were 2 coffee machines, people would drop in, for a
Yeah.
coffee and a chat. And there were sofas and chairs and this, that, and everything. And Mark Hamill was always in there. He was always in there with coffee and chatting away about this, that, and the next thing. But what happened was more and more the freaks started coming in because I was playing a kind of freak. I was like chief freak. All the other guys were playing all these weird monsters would come in. And they'd be there and you'd turn around and they would say things and you wouldn't know who had said it. Somebody would say something.
Yeah.
Because you just see this line of kind of rubber masks. You don't know who's talking. Just a normal day at the office,
Yeah.
That's great.
Having a coffee, making coffee for all the freaks.
Brilliant.
That was great fun. It was good fun. I have to say that. Some good memories. Mark was in there quite a bit, and Tony used to come in quite a bit as well. He could take the head off and just come in and have a coffee. Richard Glass, the optician, was a great name for an optician. He was he was a serious coffee man. Go and search out for coffee, good coffee.
Nice. Like you mentioned there, you're on a memorable set. You've got a lot of people with you. You've got Mark Hamill, you've got Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Peter Mayhew. Some absolute iconic legends. Billy D. Williams. What's it like to be around them sort of people?
Well, it's not. I mean, it's not. It's funny because you're working. You're just kind of chatting away as if you would in the office. It's sort of how are you? I'm fine. How are you? Oh, bad night last night. Whatever. Didn't sleep. Did a little do. Billy D. Williams came up to me and he saw me and he was looking at me, the face. He said, "That's amazing." He looked at me and he said, I was standing very still. I used to stand very still because I'd get quite tired. He looked at me, he said, "Is there anybody in there?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, it's the person." He said, "You look like a sculpture." I said, "No, it's me." He said, "God, it's amazing." He was done up in his, his helmet, his gear.
Yeah.
And in so he seemed to find it. I think he found the whole thing very strange.
Yeah, I
Because
bet.
he just wandered around the set with a great big grin on his face, looking at different creatures and kind of going, God, it wasn't the kind of normal film that he was accustomed to making.
Man.
It's like he'd landed in Santa's grotto or something.
What a character. Speaking of Santa's grotto, that place would have been like Santa's grotto. Did you manage to get any props? And if you didn't manage to get anything, what would you have liked to grab?
I wanted the eyes, the haptic lenses. I hated them, but I wanted them because they were quite beautiful. And they disappeared. Everything disappeared.
Oh.
Absolutely everything. I mean, within minutes of me getting the final makeup off, everything had gone. The head, the costume, everything had gone. All I was left with was one green fingernail. One green fingernail was all I had. I used to keep it on the mantelpiece at home. I'd have this green fingernail. That was it. But years later, I was watching a BBC documentary about the history of lenses and spectacles.
Yeah.
And just brought them right up to the modern day, right from the history of, the first lens makers, and way back in Egypt. And then suddenly there was this shot of 2 red contact lenses in a box. Bib's contact lenses.
Knew straight away. Yeah.
Wow.
I recognized the box. And the voiceover said, "This is a very famous pair of contact lenses worn in a famous film, Return of the Jedi, by a character called Bib Fortuna." And there's a shot of Bib with the red eyes, And it was Richard Glass, my optician, of course, who'd nicked them. And he was interviewed for about 30 seconds about them. He'd got them. So anyway, there we go. So no, I had nothing at all. And it was like locusts. Bits of the set would disappear. I would go I remember going up to a place in Leicester, a museum, and there were bits of the set up there. No, I have no idea how they got them. I really don't. and even your call sheets.
Yeah.
You know, you get the call sheet in the morning, it tells you what scenes you're doing.
Gone.
They would disappear because they're being
Wow.
sold. They're being
People
sold
knew.
in America. Yeah,
Yeah.
as collector's
People knew.
items. So no, there's just nothing to. I don't know if anybody might. I think Jeremy might have managed to keep one of Boba's helmets.
Oh,
That was about it.
Ooh.
That was about
nice.
it. Yeah.
Oh, just don't take it off.
Yeah. Okay. Any more questions?
We do. It's up to you, Charlie.
It's up to me, is it?
You're on there.
Who's been your favorite actor to work with in Star Wars? I feel like I know you've talked a lot about Mark. It feels like the two of you had quite a connection with one another. I mean, spitting your teeth at someone is definitely the way to break the ice. But
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was a nice guy. He was easy to work with. You know, he
mm,
really was. He was super. I knew Anthony, and I knew Jeremy from somewhere, and I got on very well with Jeremy. He was great, Jeremy Bullock. His stepbrother was one of the producers, so I knew Jeremy. It was Jeremy who persuaded me to get into the conventions as well, and I used to see quite a bit of him. Carrie was sweet. Carrie was bored out of her head the weeks we were there, because all she was doing was sitting there in a bikini chained up to Jabba the Hutt for 5 weeks. You know, that went on for 5 weeks. It took us 5 weeks to shoot that little
wow.
sequence. Then we were in later we were in the barge, and she gets to strangle him, and that was really the first time Carrie got off her bum off. You know, got to stand up and do anything for about 5 weeks. She was
Wow.
just sitting there, kind of
Wow.
bored out of her head. You know, every now and again.
In that costume as well.
Yeah,
Well,
you know. I mean, yeah. She made one entrance disguised, and then she's captured, and then the rest, for about 4 weeks, she's just sitting there chained up to Jabba the Hutt. That's filmmaking for you.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, Michael, why don't we ask one more question? I have one more question for you.
Okay.
Do you have any funny or good stories about George Lucas?
I don't have many. He was very shy. He's a very, very
Oh.
gracious man, very shy. And he was doing the second unit direction in the next studio. They were doing the Ewoks, I think. They built this extraordinary set up in the trees. And he would come in every now and again, be in there. But I remember towards the very end of the film, it was like the 5th week, and I'd been getting, you know, I was in always very early, and I was exhausted. I was young, but I was exhausted.
Yeah.
I was getting
Yeah.
3 hours sleep a night, 2 hours sleep a night, or something.
Yeah.
And I was standing in the corridor just off the main set, kind of drooping over, and he was sitting there up a few feet away from me on his back, and he was knackered as well. He was completely exhausted. And he kind of looked at me, and I mean, we said a few things together, but earlier on, but he just looked at me, on his name. And it was clear that something should be said by one of us to the other.
Yeah.
But we didn't know what, and we were both so tired, I don't think either of us cared. So he looked at me and he just said, do you often play parts like this? And I said, no. and that was it.
Oh,
Brilliant.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he just, I was just too tired. Couldn't summon up the energy to have a conversation.
Yeah.
But he was nice. He was very quiet. And
Yeah.
if you didn't know who he was, you'd wonder who he was, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Very courteous, smiled a lot, you know.
Oh,
Quite relaxing.
Good.
Quite relaxing.
Brilliant. Well, Michael, again, just a massive thank you for coming on and spending
Thank you.
the time
Absolute
with us.
pleasure.
We do really appreciate it. Obviously, conscious of the time now back home in the UK. Again, from myself, the team, everyone in the Star Wars universe, thank you for everything you've done and continue to do as well. I'm so glad that you shared those stories with us, and yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's been a joy to speak to you.
Thank
All the
you.
very best.
Pleasure, Michael. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
It's really nice
Bye-bye.
meeting you.
You too. You too.
Okay, if you have any questions or just want your voice heard, then DM us on our socials or send us an email or voice note at exploretheforce@gmail.com. And remember to like this episode, share it with your Star Wars friends and family, and to follow us on all our social media platforms. All you have to do is search Explore the Force, all one word. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Also, if you want to show your support and spread the word around by image as well as voice, then head over to Redbubble and search Explore the Force, where you can purchase unique merchandise. And a massive thank you to everyone interacting with us via our social media. You guys keep this podcast amazing, and it has been fun chatting with people. We've seen a lot of traffic coming our way, so it's been fun. Not all positive, but it's been fun.
Shout out to Tom.
Oh yeah, big Tom, swinging at fools. I love it. So keep it up, Tom. Love what you love, my man. And finally, you've been listening to Explore the Force. We have spoken. We'll see y'all next week.
Only now, at the end, do you understand?
Close your eyes. Feel it.
Wise as Master Yoda, as powerful as Master Windu. They'll do their job.